welcome. I'm Tandy of the Lost Boys, joined by Bomat Courier of the Lost Boys. Say hi, Bomat.
Hi, Matt.
And today we have a special one for you. In today's video, Bomat is going to teach me and thereby teach you how to download Tabletop Simulator and play Lorcana with your friends and family. Matt,
Yeah.
take it away, man. Just tell me how to do it. Let's go.
All right. So first step, of course, you're going to want to, have Steam installed. This is where uh, you probably own some digital games. You're a savvy gamer. You're going to look for Tabletop Simulator on the store, buy that and install it. And the next step is going to be getting the mod for Tabletop Simulator for Lorcana.
Oh, how do you do that?
So, so on Todd's screen here, we're going to go over on the right and click Workshop, and then just search for the word Lorcana. And the mod we want is called Scripted 1v1 right there on the top. I'm going to click on that and then just hit subscribe.
Okay,
The
it's
mod itself is free.
subscribing. Nice.
And then we see in the background, Todd's Tabletop Simulator has already downloaded everything for the mod. So we're good to go. Back to
Okay.
Tabletop Simulator.
So we're back in Tabletop Simulator. Now, before we get started, and it seems like it's pretty easy, but we'll just run over the basics. So first off, make sure you download Tabletop Simulator. It does cost $20 on Steam. Maybe you can get it on sale at some point in the future. Each person who wants to play Tabletop Simulator has to buy their own copy. They do sell it in 4 packs, and you get basically buy three
Yep.
and get one free. So it's an okay deal if you're trying to get a group together to do it. And so then
Right.
we went to workshop, we searched Lorcana, and we did scripted 1v1. Now, Matt, what do we do from this point? Because we're in Tabletop Simulator, and I want to play Lorcana with you.
So there are two options from this point. One, if you're going to be the player hosting the game, and one if you're going to be joining it. So I'm going to show Todd how to create the room to host a game just by hitting that huge create button.
Nice.
Then multiplayer,
Okay.
and then set up some settings. You want to name the game something with Lorcana in it, Lorcana Lost Boys.
Okay. Lorcana Lost
And
Boys. Server type public or friends or
public is
invite.
fine. I usually just add a password so that I don't get strangers coming in. So
Okay. So password
somewhere
will
you tell
just
your friends,
be Lost Boys with a capital L and a capital B. And
right?
I'll do public. That sound good?
Yep, that should work.
And then for number of players, I do 2.
It depends. You might have some friends coming in to watch, but two should work fine for us. And then
Okay.
hit create server.
All right. So now I've created a game, and Matt, have you joined it yet, or do I need to click this here Lorcana scripted 1v1 button?
Yeah, so we're gonna have you click on the Lorcana logo right there. That will get you into the game.
Before we get started, I just want to offer a quick shout out to our sponsor, Games and Comics Paradise. They're the premier destination for Lorcana in Northern Virginia. Games and Comics Paradise is an official Lorcana Play store for Fairfax, Virginia, and carries all that you need to play. From singles and sleeves to playmats and dice, they have you covered. Find their event schedule, pre-orders, and their online singles inventory for Lorcana, Magic, and Pokemon at gcparadise.com. That's gcparadise.com. Now let's learn to play Lorcana. All right. So now that we have successfully joined a game, it is time for you to show me how to start the game. So first and foremost, I just want to say that I think that this whole area looks pretty cool. Like I really actually like the design of the cards
Yeah,
up
they
here in
put
the
a lot
top
of work
right.
in.
Yeah, and whoever did it, they obviously have some passion, and it's always great to see that, especially when it comes to, you know, a fan made digital client, basically, right?
For
Like
sure.
it's
This is
in a
a
different program.
community effort.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so why don't you walk me through how to get my deck on here? Let's like play a game, yeah?
Absolutely. So uh, we're gonna go into your deck building website of choice. We're using dreamboard.inc. This is
Okay.
gonna be super easy.
Okay, so
So
we're on Dreamborn.inc, and I just want to show people that this is a deck building website that you can customize a deck, and you can add cards by clicking plus or minus on the numbers as you hover over them. We have a pre-constructed deck here, and we'll definitely link to our Dreamborn deck in the description. So make sure to check it out if you're curious what this, uh, you know, silver and amber deck looks like. Yeah. So
Right.
So I copy the web address, right?
Right. And
Okay.
then head back into Tabletop Simulator, and in the top right next to our names, you're going to click that page.
Okay, so there's a big deck importer button right here at the top right. So we're gonna click that. Gonna
Oh,
click that.
first of all, you're going to need to sit down at the white seat, so that
Oh,
big glowing circle.
oh, I gotta click the sit down. I wasn't in my seat. I'm so sorry.
All right, now let's see if you can import your deck. There you go.
All
Right in
right.
the middle there, you see it says Dreamborn.inc deck code.
Yep. And now there is a deck code generator for Lorcania.com, which is basically the same thing as Dreamborn, but just a different website. And we're gonna import deck, and then our deck spawned here, so we can close out of here. And now, I feel like my deck's probably gonna be all stacked as 4 right?
Exactly. So you can right click on your deck and click shuffle, or just hit the R key,
All right, so I'll just
and
hit
it will be
R. So I click it, hover. I'm hitting R, but not doing the spin. Hmm.
yeah, I
That's
can
probably
hear the
gonna.
noise. It's doing it on
Okay.
my screen.
All right. So
Maybe some visual bugs,
no
but
harm, no foul. I shuffled it a million times, right? So hopefully
right.
it'll be good.
Next, we're going to use some of the handy scripts in this mod here. So below your deck and discard, there's a button that says Draw Opening Hand.
Okay, so that's gonna be right here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so y'all can see it a bit better, but it's like over here on the right where my mouse is. And
Yep.
then you can move the how orientation of the map if you just hold the right click button. So I'm holding right click right now, and I can move left, right, up, down, so you can kind of have it at the angle that you want, right? And then if
Right.
you roll the mouse button backwards, it zooms back, and you can roll it forward to zoom in. That'll be handy
And the
if you
last
can't quite.
controls, W, A, S, and D will let you pan around.
Oh, cool! So I
So
can
that
come see your
should.
hand. Can I get behind you and see your hand?
Nope, not in this mod.
Ah,
Yeah.
dang, I thought I was gonna get you. All right, so I found the opening hand button. It's down here, a tiny, teeny little button down on the bottom right. We're gonna hit draw opening hand, and I got 7 cards, and I'm playing Steel Amber. My deck has a bunch of really sweet, pirates in it. I got some Simba cards. This deck looks pretty cool. My hand actually has a bunch of the Inkwell cards too, so I don't think I'm gonna mulligan very much because all my cards are pretty solid.
All right. So just for an example, we're gonna pick your least favorite
Okay.
and drag that backwards toward yourself into a second hand. See if you can get there. Just drag it and drop it about 1 card length back on the screen.
All right. So there's like I can tell that there's something there. I just don't it's not I'm not quite able to pull it all the way down past it.
By using the S key to pan backwards, you can see off the table a little more.
Ah, I see. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Now that I know where it's supposed to go, let's W some. All right, so I can't do it from my zoomed in hand though. Is that what you're telling me?
Right, right.
Okay. And can I not just like right click and hit mulligan? Is that not something I can do either?
No, that's a little too complicated for this mod. So
No worries.
uh,
Just trying to make
there's
sure.
there's the script, but also if you just wanted to do this manually, you can do that. So if you hover over any card in your hand and hit F, that would flip it face down, and then you can just drag it out onto the table like you're playing for real, and then right click on your deck and hit draw, and that's how you would manually do it. But if you were using the script, you see like you have here 3 cards to mulligan, and then right where that button used to be, there's a new button
Yeah, it
that's
says
going to
mulligan
mulligan those
card.
cards
Cool.
automatically.
All right. So just make sure you pull the camera back slightly. It creates a new zone for you to mulligan your cards. And then once you pulled the cards down that you want to mulligan, you can click the mulligan button and get 3 fresh ones. And now I am going to reorient my camera slightly so that we can see the whole board a bit better. And this is cool. So WASD lets you kind of hover around like you're a cameraman. You can use the mouse wheel to go forward and backwards, and then you can use the right mouse button to orient the leveling. So very, very actually easy to use controls. So I'm pretty happy with it right now. All right, Matt.
Right.
So we're gonna play a game now, right?
Absolutely. So, you know what? Why don't I just go first, show us how it's done, get
Okay.
that easy die roll win on you. So, for my first turn, I'm going to choose the card I want to ink, Maui Hero to All. Just show that to Todd and then flip it over. And then I'm going to hover over that card and hit E to turn it 90 degrees and use it for ink. And then drag out another card, show Todd I'm playing Develop Your Brain. And then here's another handy part of this mod. If you want to look over here on the bottom right of my screen or your screen, you see look at the top cards of your deck with some buttons around it. So for Develop Your Brain, I want to look at the top two cards of my deck. So I'm going to click on the two, and then it automatically shows me those two cards. I can choose one of them, drag it back into my hand, and hit the Return to Bottom button that's in that same area of the screen. And it automatically puts the extra card on the bottom and returns my hand to me. So
Okay.
that's Develop Your Brain being resolved.
So, I just want to stress that this program is very manual oriented, and
Right,
in the past, I have used programs for Magic the Gathering that were very similar to this. One was called Apprentice, and basically they give you all the tools to physically play the game, but you just have to figure out how to do everything from tapping the card to drawing cards to shuffling your deck to putting plus one counters on stuff, damage on stuff, manually moving your cards from zones to others, turning them face up and face down, things like that. Like everything is going to have to be done individually. So at the very beginning, it's going to take a little time, but
right,
ultimately, this is the purest form of playing the game. It is emulating the tabletop feeling of the game, which is why it's called Tabletop Simulator. Okay.
right. And one of the better parts is just like playing in paper, basically there are no bugs as far as the rules of the game go. You know, you play a if you played in a more automated version, sometimes the game just doesn't know what to do with a card like Develop Your Brain or something, and it can bug out. But as long as you know how to move the cards around, that's never really going to happen in Tabletop Simulator.
All right.
So
So I'm gonna put Captain Hook on the table, and we're gonna. How do we flip it over? Ink.
hover and hit F,
Okay.
and
So
that
I
will
can.
flip the card over.
All right. I'm gonna hover and hit F, and then I hover and hit E to tap it for
Right.
an ink.
Q and E will turn your cards, uh, ready them and exert them, and then
Okay. So
you
Q is
play
untapped
your
to
symbol.
ready, and E is tapped. Now, do I have to hover over everything and click Q to untap everything on every turn, or is there a like pass the turn, untap everything button by chance?
Right. So if you want to test this out just by exerting your Simba as an example, if you look over on the right here, there's a big button that will ready everything on your side of the table.
All right. I'm gonna move over to just zoom in on it. So it's right here. All right. Now we're gonna zoom back. We're gonna go back to where we were. This is honestly pretty fun to figure out, right? Like, eventually,
Oh yeah,
I'm just gonna like own at it or whatever, and we're just gonna be playtesting on this every day. Like,
right,
there's
right,
another program that we're gonna be showing y'all as well in the next few days, and this is just one of the two programs that you can play on right now. But this one feels like the most pure form, and once you actually figure it out, it just feels like it's gonna be great. All right, so I'm gonna
right.
just test the untap button. We're gonna click it. Ready your exerted cards. It's not working. Hmm.
Um, so one thing you might have to do to make sure the mod works correctly is I forgot to promote Todd. So
Mm.
I'm just gonna see if that works. If you want to test that out.
Nope, button doesn't work for me. Unfortunate.
All
But
right. So
it's okay.
I did say there might not be any bugs. We forgot to account for bugs in Tabletop Simulator itself. But like everything can be done manually. So
Exactly. All right. So
yeah.
I've played a Simba Future King. It's your go. And now, whenever
Uh
is there any way I can like hover over the card to blow it up really big to like show it and
try
explain it?
M. Try holding M.
Okay, so we're zooming in really closely on Simba, and we can reorient our camera too to read it right. Right here we go. So Simba is a one mana creature. Says, guess what? When you play this character, you may draw a card and then discard a card. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we have played our Simba. We're going to draw off the deck, and then we're gonna discard a card. So Goofy costs 5. We have the horse that can protect us later, and we have a couple 2 drops. I guess I'll just discard one of Kristoff's, and we just put that here in the discard pile, and I sure go.
Alright, so I'll click the ready button, and it works for me. Uh, Draw a card off my deck, and just a tip: there is a slightly easier way to draw cards. Actually, if you're hovering over your deck and you hit any of the number keys on the top of your keyboard, you'll instantly draw that many. So I just
Okay.
hit one to draw a single card, and now I will show you Maleficent.
Ah, the monstrous dragon.
Put that in my inkwell, and then exert my ink and play one jump ahead. And this is actually going to use another tool of the mod. In the same area of my screen on the bottom right, there's a big button that says ink the top card of your deck.
Nice.
And it just automatically drags a card from my deck into my inkwell. And that'll be it for me.
All right, we're gonna untap our thing, and then I'm gonna hit one to draw a card. And I drew another Simba. I'm gonna play this one as an ink, so I'll put it on the table and show it to you. We'll click ink. Uh, okay, that's cool. It does it by.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah,
there's
I can just right hand click it, and then it'll put it in my inkwell on my turn, right?
right, that works too.
Okay, and then we're
There's a
gonna.
different Simba.
All right, so this is we're Simba tribal here. So it's 2 mana Simba, 2/3 bodyguard. And so bodyguard says if this character may enter play exerted, an opposing character who challenges one of your characters must choose one with bodyguard if able. Okay. And then I will exert this to gain a point.
Right, and the lore counter will be up on the top right side of your playmat, and you'll just hit the +1 button.
All right, so +1, so I'm at 1 lore, and then these are tapped from casting the second Simba, and sure go.
Okay, draw a card. I will start out with another develop your brain. Look at my top two. That in my hand, that on the bottom. And then I'll ink another big card in Aladdin and pay 3 for Mickey Mouse Detective. Put the top card into my ink and pass to you.
Okay, so we're gonna untap all our stuff. We'll draw a card. And I drew a Mickey Mouse Musketeer. So this was actually one of the big promo from Gen Con that everyone was after.
Right.
So it's a 2/7 with bodyguard, and it says your other Musketeer characters get +1, and it can quest for 2 lore. So this is like Musketeer, centric. Like, there's a couple other Musketeers, I guess, or does it only pump itself, like other copies of itself?
Nope, there are 3 total Musketeers, actually. There's a Goofy, a Mickey, and a Donald. Uh,
Okay.
this deck, actually, though, largely is bodyguard tribal. Bodyguards, for one thing, are great at protecting all the aggressive creatures, but
Hmm.
there's also an item called Musketeer's Tabard that says whenever one of your bodyguard characters is banished, you draw a card. So that's kind of how this deck is trying to get into the long game.
All right, so we'll play a Kristoff. And then neither of my creatures can be challenged by yours to kill it freely, so I'll just quest for 2 points and it's your go.
Okay.
So he's really
I
far ahead of
will
me on resources. He has 5 lore and he's about to or 5 ink and he
ink.
can play a sixth. And so right now he's about to start putting out some big heavy beaters.
Right, so I'll play a bell
Oh no.
for ink. And, actually, this is another nice thing about tabletop. I can just undo that as long as my friend and opponent Todd thinks that's fair.
No.
And
No, I don't want to fight it. Put it back.
I do think I'm going to play Bell. So I just did kind of a fancy trick. If you hold and drag, you can select a lot of cards at once and ready and insert
Awesome.
all at once.
So I guess I'm gonna
So
try to untap everything. It's
yeah.
uh, okay.
So for 4, I'll play Bell and then Ink Aladdin and Ink Grammatala. And then my Mickey Mouse. If I do anything if I exert Mickey, you can just take care of it with Kristoff, so I'll just pass to you.
Also, the protective cove has bodyguard, so it would be a 1/3 into a 2, 3 anyway.
Right.
But all
I'm
right,
considering whether I want to quest with it, but I don't really want to give you that option.
okay. So I'm gonna untap all my stuff. I was kind of just toying with the untapped stuff. So all right, so
Yeah.
we'll draw one. And we drew Rapunzel, and so he smartly did not quest, and so now I don't get any cool value off of Rapunzel. But I do have a bunch of bodyguard stuff going on, so we're just gonna go quest, quest, quest. One, two, three, four, up to seven, and then I'm going to play. This Mickey costs six, so I'm gonna just go ahead and play it as ink, and we'll flip it, and then we'll tap three, or we'll exert three, and then we'll play Hercules, True Hero, and it's a bodyguard, and we'll have it enter exerted so that it'll protect my little guys.
Right.
Okay, and you go.
Okay. So I'm up to 7 ink now. I'm going to use that for a Hades Infernal
Ooh.
Schemer.
All right, who you targeting?
All right. I want to, I think, get some of your lore off the field. So I'm going to target Kristoff, Official Ice Master, and just have you hit F to flip that over, throw it in your inkwell.
Okay.
And now, yeah, my bell still doesn't really uh, challenge your creatures very well or get challenged very much in my favor, so I will pass it back to you.
All right, so just for the sake of whatever, can you just attack my creature one time just so I can see how the negative counters go on there? We can undo it.
Sure.
I just want to see the animations.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to. I'm basically just gonna exert my Mickey. Tell you I'm challenging Simba, and then we'll look over here at the little bags that are next to your playmat.
Okay,
And
so I
if
got
you
some
hover over
bags.
those, they'll tell you what they are. Yep, you're gonna go for the -1 counters,
Nice. That was
just
easy
like
to
that.
find. So, yeah, so every time you take a damage, you put a counter. So his Mickey has uh two minus counters on it, and my Simba has one minus counter on it. And then if his takes one more, it'll go to the banish zone, and mine needs to take two more to go to the banish zone. All
Right.
right, we
But,
can let's yeah,
I'm
let's
trying to win this game,
yeah,
so
undo,
I'm gonna
undo.
throw those back and pass to you.
Okay. All right, so let's go Q Q Q. Then we'll draw a card for turn. We drew Leela, making a wish. We have an extra resource now, and maybe instead of so Hades is pretty big, right? So Hades is a 3/6. Hercules is
Right.
only a 3/3. So Hercules is gonna be able to chomp him up pretty good. Um, the Simba doesn't have any damage on it. Neither of the Simbas do. That was a 2/4, and you have a bunch of resources. Goofy is pretty big bodyguard. It's a 3/6, and I don't like having all bodyguards, right? Having all bodyguards lets you decide what can be attacked. So it kind of defeats the purpose a bit.
Right, that's true. The real role of the bodyguards, though, is protecting the characters that quest for multiple ink, or multiple lore, rather. So, you did happen to draw very few of those, but, um, that's kind of the game plan, is to get down some cards like Lilo and protect her with bodyguards so she can get some extra questing in.
All right, so I'm gonna play Goofy. I'm gonna play it I guess tapped or exerted, so it's got bodyguard, and then I'll gain one, two, three, up to 10 lore. And I'll start making you attack my stuff. Here you go.
All right. Yep, lucky me, the control deck. I do have a lot
No.
of removal.
All right, what you
Yeah,
blasting?
I'm gonna take care of Goofy.
All right, so Goofy will do flip him, and he goes to the resource zone, the ink well.
Now I'll start by challenging Hercules with my Hades.
All right,
So
banish
3 damage on him, and then I do have to start getting your lore under control. So I'm gonna use Belle and Mickey to challenge Simba
All right, Simba down.
and throw some damage on them, and then pass to you.
Okay, so let's untap, unexert, draw a card. All right, so I'm gonna use my Simba. Oh, I don't want to do that. Just a Simba. We're gonna exert. We're gonna attack the Mickey for 2 or for 1,
Right.
and
So my
then
Mickey's banished.
I'll play Rapunzel, and we'll heal the Mickey for 1 and draw a card.
All right, and make sure you pay ink for that.
Right. I wish so. I hope there's a setting at some point where I can just double tap stuff to exert it. And then I'll just go ahead and play Simba and another Simba. And Lilo, we'll go ahead and gain 2 points with. And I think I can play this Simba as bodyguard. So
Yep.
I'll do that. And I'll say go. So this one's got bodyguard. So we'll kind of put it first in front of these. And these are over here. So
All right.
I'm getting the hang of it. This is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it's this tabletop simulator in general is really just designed to mimic the feeling you get when you're playing in real life with your friends, and it does a pretty good job of that once you get the hang of it.
Awesome. All right. What you got
So
for
I'm
me?
gonna play a Maui.
Maui, he's so big. You're
It's got
welcome.
Russian Reckless. Yeah, you're welcome. Uh, Maui is really only good for challenging, so I'm going to take care of Simba,
Bodyguard down.
bodyguard down, then I definitely have to get this Lilo off the table as well. I'll challenge her with Hades, and then might as well take care of Simba as well. And then this Hades is free to quest for 3, and I'm trying to turn the corner here. Go ahead.
All right, so let's draw a card. Pressing the 1 button. Ooh, fire the cannons. How big's your Maui? Not quite
Just a
able to
little too
kill
big
it.
for that.
I can kill the
But
Hades though. That seems pretty good. So we'll blast him. Bang! And now
bangarang.
if we ever draw a Captain Hook, we'll be able to do it right. All right, so we're gonna gain 1, 2, 3, up to 15. I'm pretty close to winning, but I think you're gonna chew me up. Your go.
All right. Yep, I will challenge Rapunzel with my Maui.
You gone.
And yeah, you're pretty close, but I think I will go ahead and challenge Simba with my Hades just to leave you as few ways out as possible. And then 3 for a Mickey Mouse, get another ink, 4 for a bell, and I'll quest with this bell. Pass to you.
All right. Well, oh, that's not what I meant to do. All right, flip this back over. All right, so let's draw a card. It's a Mickey Mouse for 3. What does it do? So this Mickey says it's a 3/3 and it taps for 2 lore. So exerts for 2 lore. Request. Here we go. It's
All right.
you're only at 4, but you have a pretty dominating board position. These bells actually are starting to get really scary, right?
Right. So the bells both let me ink an extra card per turn. So I'm actually going to ink this Let It Go and this bell. That's going to get me up to 10 ink total.
Wow.
I'll quest for 10 to
That's right.
14.
So let's read these here. This is just for y'all at home. So this bell says, read a book. You can play an extra resource, an extra inkwell. And then if you have 10 or more in your inkwell, you get +4 lore when you quest. So 2 bells in play, and now he's able to exert both of them for +10 lore all the way up to 14. And this is why people think that Bell Strange but Special is like one of the best cards in the game right now because it helps you ramp, and then once you've turned the corner in the game, it actually gains lore extremely fast.
Right. And then I'll just cap that off with 3 more for my other characters and pass and say check.
Check. All right, let's draw a card. We drew Maximus. It's not quite enough, my horse friend, but we'll go ahead and gain 2 up to 17. I was close. I was close. 17's not
Right.
20, but it was pretty darn close.
Right. You're looking for maybe a little more of an aggressive draw, and maybe you get there, but that's game.
Yeah, so you're just gonna go ahead and unexert or ready all your stuff. You draw a card per turn, and then you can tap a bell and go up to a Magillion lore points. You win.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
Good
cool.
game.
Good game. So that is how you play Magic Lorcana on Tabletop Simulator. We went through from how to download it, where to get the game itself. We even showed you how to download the extension so that you could play 1v1. We showed you how to start a game, and we went through the engine and showed you a full game. Matt, do you have any, tips or tricks for people at home who are wanting to pick this up? Anything that can make their life a little bit easier?
Yeah, there's a couple things. There's actually maybe a couple more scripts on this table that we didn't look at. Like Todd started using the right click and ink option uh just to make it a little more automatic. I haven't actually totally explored all the features of this mod, but if you're having a little bit of trouble, uh yeah, there we go. There's also
Oh, look at this. Okay, I've gone. We can make the
there's some
cards
toys.
huge. That way, if you can't read them, now you can read them. Look at this big boy, Maximus.
I think Maximus deserves to be that big,
I
really.
do too. Big Maximus all day. All right,
Uh
cool.
yeah,
So,
this is
all right, it was fun
there's
to learn how to play from you.
yeah, maybe hop in here with your friends, give it a try, just hang out, play with whatever decks you want.
All right, so let me see. When I banish it, oh, it's still big.
Oh yeah.
Did you throw all your cards at me? How'd you do that?
Yeah, just drag and select and pick them all up.
All right, cool. So if you want to see what your opponent's cards do, I can move your cards around too, right?
Exactly. These are
Okay.
just cards on a table.
The same way that I could reach across the table and throw your Hades into the trash can, I can do that on Tabletop Simulator. See you later,
Right.
Hades, you jerk.
Unfortunately, there's no command for ripping up your
Uh,
opponent's cards, but
all
yeah,
right.
that's Tabletop Simulator.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much to Bomat for showing me how to play Lorcana on Tabletop Simulator. If you'd like to do the same, just make sure to head on over and get Tabletop Simulator from Steam and follow the directions from earlier in the video. Uh, we will post both deck lists that we used in the video in the
Right.
description below, and as well as links to all our socials. Make sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube video so that the Lost Boys can get a little better into the algorithm. We appreciate it. We're just getting started, and we hope that you come along with us. That's going to do it for the Lost Boys for showing you how to play Lorcana on Tabletop Simulator. I'm Tandy. That's Bo Matt. Say bye, Matt.
Bravo, Matt.
Oh, bangarang. See you later.